Imagine a weapon so precise, so terrifying, that your enemies could no longer hide, even under the cover of darkness. In the dense jungles of the Pacific Theater, as World War II raged on, American soldiers discovered a secret advantage, a game-changer that would haunt Japanese troops. They called it the RayGun scope mounted on the M1 carbine. Tonight, we'll explore the story of how this deadly combination turned the tides of night warfare, striking fear into the hearts of those who thought darkness was their ally. Part 1, setting the scene, 045. The Pacific Islands were a nightmare for soldiers. Thick jungles, swarming insects, sudden ambushes, and relentless heat. Japanese soldiers had mastered the art of camouflage, blending into the shadows as if they were ghosts. Nightfall, they believed, was their shield. But in late 1944, American engineers developed a small yet deadly innovation, a scope for the M1 carbine that could pierce the darkness with unparalleled accuracy. Soldiers who had previously struggled to spot enemies at night suddenly found themselves wielding what seemed like magic. The M1 carbine itself was already a marvel, a lightweight, semi-automatic rifle designed for mobility and rapid firing. Unlike the heavier M1 Garand, the carbine allowed soldiers to move swiftly through dense foliage, perfect for jungle warfare. But add a new optical scope, nicknamed the RayGun, and it became a nightmarish predator for those hiding in shadows. The scope wasn't literally a ray gun. No, lasers. But it amplified a soldier's sight, making night almost as clear as day. The development of the RayGun scope was top secret. American engineers experimented with high-contrast optics, adjustable lenses, and light amplification. They wanted a device that could detect heat signatures, or even subtle movements in low light conditions. While it wasn't infrared in today's sense, soldiers described it as uncanny. They could see shapes shifting in the trees, glimpses of rifles, or even the glint of enemy eyes. This small addition to the M1 carbine transformed infantrymen into hunters. The Japanese soldiers soon learned that the night no longer belonged to them. Fear spread through their ranks like wildfire. They were trained to trust the cover of darkness, to use the jungle as an ally. Yet with the RayGun M1 carbine, every shadow was suspect, every rustling leaf a potential death sentence. The psychological impact was profound. Some soldiers reported refusing to sleep at night, haunted by invisible eyes that could pierce the dark. This small American innovation created chaos and uncertainty, undermining the morale of seasoned Japanese troops. Part 5, Real Combat Stories, 7-0. Accounts from veterans paint a chilling picture. One American soldier recalled a night patrol on Lady Island. They moved quietly, rifles ready, using the RayGun scopes to scan the terrain. Within minutes, they identified 3 enemy soldiers crouched behind fallen trees. The carbine fired, precise and lethal, eliminating threats before the enemy could react. Another story tells of a squad using the scopes to guard a supply route. Japanese snipers, once confident in their concealment, were suddenly vulnerable. By dawn, whispers of a magic American rifle circulated among Japanese troops, increasing fear with every retelling. Commanders on both sides quickly adapted. For Americans, the RayGun M1 carbine became a tool for specialized night raids. Soldiers were trained to maximize the scope's abilities, coordinating movements and communication. Night attacks, previously risky, became viable and even preferred in some operations. For the Japanese, countermeasures were limited. Camouflage was no longer sufficient. They had to move silently, in smaller groups, and constantly adapt to an enemy that could seemingly see through the dark. What made the RayGun scope so effective? The optics relied on magnification and light amplification. Even the faintest glimmer, a reflection from a belt buckle, a glint off a rifle, or the movement of leaves could be detected. Soldiers described it as almost supernatural. While modern viewers might equate this to night vision technology, in reality it was mechanical ingenuity combined with careful training. The M1 carbine, already light and mobile, became the perfect vessel for this technological marvel. By late 1944 and early 1945, the impact was undeniable. American patrols equipped with these scoped carbines reported increased kill ratios and safer night movements. Japanese forces were forced to abandon some of their most effective night tactics. What seemed like a small modification, scope, was in reality a major shift in jungle warfare. The darkness was no longer an ally. It had become a battleground illuminated by the ingenuity of American engineers and the courage of their soldiers. Behind the technology were human stories. Soldiers wrote letters home, describing how the new scopes made them feel both invincible and haunted. Some admitted a strange moral unease, killing unseen enemies, feeling almost like a ghost themselves. Japanese civilians and soldiers alike experienced terror that transcended traditional battlefield fear. The RayGun M1 carbine didn't just change tactics, it changed lives, instilling a mixture of awe and dread that would echo long after the war. Today, the RayGun scope is a reminder of innovation under pressure. It's a testament to the idea that even a small adjustment, a few lenses, a new optical system can alter the course of history. Veterans recall it with reverence. Historians analyze it for strategy and firearms. Enthusiasts marvel at its ingenuity. The story of the M1 carbine with the RayGun scope is more than military history. It's a story of human creativity, fear, and the unrelenting desire to survive. In the end, the darkness belonged to no one. Where shadows once hid the fearful, now stood soldiers armed with vision, precision, and innovation. The M1 carbine with the RayGun scope didn't just illuminate the night. It illuminated the edge of human ingenuity in warfare. The Japanese couldn't hide, and neither could history forget the weapon that changed the game. Remember this, sometimes the smallest tool can cast the longest shadow, and in the theater of war, vision can become the deadliest weapon. As the jungle fell silent and the first rays of dawn cut through the mist, one truth remained. The night no longer belonged to fear. Shadows once safe for hiding now revealed secrets, exposed by the ingenuity of a simple scope on a soldier's rifle. The RayGun M1 carbine was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of human innovation, courage, and the relentless pursuit of survival. In war, as in life, it is often the smallest advantage that changes everything. A lens, a glance, a moment of clarity. These can turn the tide, shatter illusions, and rewrite history. The Japanese soldiers couldn't hide, and neither could the legacy of those who dared to see in the dark. Remember this, light can emerge from the unlikeliest places, and even in the deepest darkness, vision and courage can become the deadliest force of all.